He isn't here? I have been sitting in this restaurant for 3 hours waiting for a man who cannot even pick up a phone.
He isn't here? Krishy stood up from her chair so quickly it scraped the floor behind her. I have been sitting in this restaurant for 3 hours waiting for a man who cannot even pick up a phone. People turned, looking at her. Waiters froze. A couple nearby slowly lowered their forks. Krishy adjusted her sari with shaking hands, eyes scanning the entrance like she was daring someone to walk through it. My father arranged this date personally, and Baek Sin Jo thinks he can just... Then the restaurant doors opened. Everyone turned. Anna walked in. Light-skinned, biracial woman, short, slick hair so perfectly laid it honestly looked like it was engineered. Long cream coat, sharp heels clicking against the marble. She moved like someone who had learned to enter rooms with purpose because her boss never gave her a choice. She was alone. Krishy's eyes dropped immediately behind Anna. Left, right, back to Anna. Where is he? Anna stopped walking. She opened her mouth, closed it, then opened it again with the careful energy of someone defusing a bomb in heels. So sorry, Krishy. Anna smiled, the smile of a woman who had practiced in mirrors during bad days. The boss won't be able to make it tonight. Krishy's left eye twitched. He said, Anna inhaled quietly, he said he would be having headaches tomorrow. Complete silence followed. A spoon hit the floor somewhere in the back. What did you just say to me? Those are his exact words. He told me to say them exactly, or he would... he just really wanted me to. Your boss, Krishy said, voice climbing steadily, sent his assistant to tell me he will have a headache tomorrow? I know how it sounds. Tell him, Krishy pointed a finger that meant absolute war. My father will cancel every single deal on the table. Tell him he will regret the day he thought Krishy Sharma was someone you stood up for 3 hours and sent a messenger to. A man 3 tables away raised his phone camera, but Krishy spun around. Stop recording me, she yelled. She grabbed her bag, knocked her untouched glass of water sideways, and stormed out of the restaurant like a woman who had already drafted the strongly worded email in her head. Anna stood in the middle of the restaurant, alone, coat still on, heels still hurting. A waiter passed her with a look of pure sympathy. She did not deserve that look because she was already far past sympathy. Yep, that right there was Anna Hung, personal assistant to the most self-absorbed CEO in all of Seoul. For 10 years, she has handed this man water, handled his enemies, translated 4 languages mid-sentence, and informed 3 women that he would not be attending dates he agreed to. One time, and this is real, he sent her to a family dinner because his mother called without advance notice. His exact words when his mother rang back furious? It was crazy. Sin Jo in the back of a black car, adjusting his cufflink without an expression to his face. His phone on speaker. Sin Jo, I am your mother. If you see Anna, he said peacefully, you see me. What a magnificent reply. Back to Anna outside the restaurant, standing in the cold air, eyes closed. Ah, she pressed both hands flat against her face. I hate my boss. Then she walked to the car. She had said that every day for 10 years. But still shut up every morning. If you are new here, you are going to need a moment. Stay. It gets worse before it gets much, much better. Don't skip that subscribe button and like. Leave y'all comments if you're enjoying the story already. 3 days later, a massive business event at a hotel that charged per breath. Foreign investors in every corner, champagne and handshakes, and that kind of energy that made everyone speak more confidently than they actually felt. Sin Jo moved through the room as usual, like a man who had been informed at birth that every space he entered was already his. Navy suit, not a hair out of place. Nodding at people with the measured warmth of someone who had read a book titled How to Appear Human at Business Functions. Anna walked 2 steps behind him, tablet in hand, earpiece in, ready. A French investor stepped forward with a large smile and launched immediately into rapid French. Sin Jo smiled back. He kept smiling. He was still smiling 4 full seconds later when it became clear the smile was the only response he had. Anna stepped smoothly to his side. Monsieur Leclerc is proposing a 30% equity split with a 2-year exclusivity clause across Western Europe. He says the numbers are generous, and he has 3 other meetings this afternoon. Sin Jo nodded slowly, still performing calm. Tell him no deal. Anna turned back to the investor with a gracious smile and delivered the softest, most professionally wrapped rejection in French that Monsieur Leclerc had probably ever received, because she added context, added warmth, left the door cracked for future conversation. The man nodded respectfully and walked away satisfied. Sin Jo watched him go. A good thing I caught his arrogance early. The numbers were a trap. Anna stared at the side of his face. You don't speak French. I read energy. You were smiling at a wall. Strategic pause. He straightened his jacket. Come. Anna followed, whispering to no one in particular. I literally translated everything, and this man is out here reading energy? The night continued. A Japanese partner, Anna switched languages without breaking stride. A Mandarin-speaking investor pulled Sin Jo aside, and Anna stepped in before the silence became embarrassing. English, then back to Korean, then a rapid exchange in Mandarin that ended with both parties laughing. Sin Jo stood beside her through it all, occasionally nodding like a man conducting an orchestra he had not written. 10 years. That is how long Anna Hong had been doing this. She translated. She rescheduled. She remembered how he liked his coffee. Black, no sugar, served at exactly 63 degrees because 65 burned his tongue and 61 was, in his exact words, an insult. She remembered which investors he genuinely respected and which ones he was simply tolerating. She knew when his headaches were coming before he did. She kept him functional and he kept her employed, and for a decade, that had been the entire arrangement. Back in the office. Regular Tuesday afternoon, Sin Jo standing near the glass wall reviewing a document and Anna standing beside him. Then, he stopped. Completely stopped, like something caught his attention. He turned slowly. He was facing the mirror panel beside the elevator. Anna? She looked up from her laptop. Do you see that? She looked at the mirror. She looked at him. She felt something in her chest that she would describe later as hope, which was embarrassing in hindsight. Yes, I see. Look at that. He tilted his chin slightly. That aura, that jawline. I am genuinely the most handsome man alive, like statistically. Anna's expression went through 5 stages in 2 seconds. Tell me more, she whispered. The meeting is canceled, he said, fixing one button on his jacket. I need to think. You need to think? But he was already walking away. Anna sat back down. She placed her hands flat on the desk. I rebuke this, she whispered. I rebuke every single thing about this job. She opened a new tab and typed, How to resign gracefully after 10 years. Then she closed it. She always closed it. The family dinner happened on a Thursday. Sin Jo's mother, Mrs. Baek, hosted dinners the way generals hosted briefings. Formal, high stakes, no one relaxed. Long table, good food, expectations so thick in the air you could choke on them. Sin Jo sat across from his mother with a composed energy of someone pretending a difficult conversation was not coming. It came. You are 34 years old, his mother began, setting down her chopsticks with the calm of someone who had been saving this energy for months. You work, you eat, you stare at yourself in mirrors. Where is the woman? Where is the plan? I have a plan. What plan? He looked at Anna. Anna was sitting slightly to the side, quietly eating, trying very hard to become part of the wallpaper. He looked at her with an expression she had never seen before. Calculated. Alert. Omo. He said it softly, like a slow realization. Anna. She looked up. Did you forget to tell my mother? Anna stopped chewing. Her mother leaned forward. "Tell me what?" Sin Jo smiled, and it was the smile of a man about to make his problem someone else's problem at speed. "I have found someone." He nodded once. "It is still a secret." The table went quiet. His aunt's fork froze midair. Her mother's eyes moved slowly, deliberately, across the table. To Anna. Anna felt the full weight of 7 pairs of eyes land on her at the same time. She smiled. She did not know why she smiled. Her brain said panic, and her face said congratulations, this is us, apparently. "Yes," she said. "Secret." She reached under the table and drove the heel of her shoe directly into Sin Jo's ankle. He did not flinch. He picked up his glass and drank calmly. The family dinner ended, and they were just outside the family house when Anna yelled, "Are you completely insane?" Sin Jo was on his phone. "You used me as a prop at your mother's dinner table, in front of your aunties." "Lower your voice." "Lower my—" Anna pressed both hands against her chest. "Your aunt grabbed my hand and said, 'Welcome to the family.' She said, 'Welcome to the family.'" She was warm. "I really hope she didn't think that I was the secret. You have 1 week." He cut her off, not looking up. "1 week for what?" "Find me a wife for hire." He scrolled. "Someone presentable, low maintenance, convincing enough for my mother." "Excuse me?" "You know what happens when you fail to deliver." Anna's mouth opened. "You will be punished," he said simply. "You know the punishment." The punishment was a 6-month reassignment to filing overseas documents by hand. It had happened once before. Anna still had flashbacks. "You are the worst human alive," she said. "Thank you. Also the most handsome. We established that today." They got into the car. Anna stared at the window and counted to 10 in 4 languages. She did not reach 10 in any of them. The week that followed was something Anna would later describe as the most humbling experience of her professional life. She found 20 women, carefully screened, presentable, patient. She briefed each one. She scheduled dinners at calm, quiet restaurants. She prayed before each one. The first woman left after 12 minutes because Sin Jo told her she laughed like someone who just learned how laughter worked. The second left when he pointed out that she was holding her fork incorrectly and offered to demonstrate. "I went to finishing school," she said flatly, and walked out. The third sat across from him with genuine effort, trying to make conversation. "What do you look for in a woman?" He thought about it seriously. Then he pointed at himself. "Someone who recognizes this." She stood up. She said nothing. She left 30% of her pasta. Anna sat in the car outside each restaurant and watched women exit with the posture of people who had made a decision about their life. She drove them home. She apologized. She tipped the waiters on his behalf. Woman 11 told Anna, "He corrected my grammar during dessert. During dessert." Woman 14 said, "He stopped talking mid-sentence to look at his reflection in my spoon." Woman 17 simply sent a voice note from the inside of the restaurant that said, "I cannot. I respect myself too much. Goodbye, Anna. You are a good person. I pray for you." Anna played that voice note twice. By the 20th date, she was sitting outside in the car eating jollof rice from a container she had packed from home, watching another woman walk out of the restaurant still wearing her coat, heels clicking fast on the pavement. Anna watched her go. She closed her rice container. She sat with the quiet of a woman having a serious conversation with herself. She had a side business running, growing. She had savings. She had skills that belonged to her and could not be taken back. She had spent 10 years being shouted at through restaurant doors and sent to apologize to women her boss had stood up. For what punishment exactly? The next day, she drove to the office. Sin Jo was at his desk. "We need to revisit the candidate list," he said without looking up. The last one had no sense of, "I quit." Silence dropped into the room like something physical. Sin Jo looked up slowly. "What?" "I'd like to resign." He studied her face for signs of a joke. There were none. "You must be exhausted." "I am resigning." "Anna," he set his pen down. "You're tired. Go home, sleep. Come back tomorrow and we will... I already wrote the letter. She placed it on the desk. 2 weeks' notice. I am serious. He looked at the letter. He looked at her. Are you getting married? Anna stared at him for a very long moment. What? Is someone marrying you? Is that why you're leaving? He sat back, genuinely trying to solve the problem. Because if it's about compensation, I can... It is not about compensation. Then what? She picked up her bag. Good night, sir. She walked out. He sat at the desk for a long time after she left, looking at the letter, reading the same first line 4 times without absorbing it. For the first time in 10 years, Baek Sin Jo did not have a response. He had responses for everything: contracts, negotiations, angry investors, his mother. He did not have one for this. He rejected the resignation formally the next morning. However, Anna did not come in. He sent a message. She replied, I am on my notice period. I will work remotely for handover. He sent another message. She did not reply. He hired a new assistant by the afternoon. Young man, eager, well-dressed, ready. By noon the next day, Sin Jo had fired him. You gave me coffee at 67 degrees. I didn't know. Leave. The second assistant lasted 1 day and a half. She filed 3 documents in the wrong folders and scheduled a call with Tokyo at 3 in the morning Seoul time. How did you manage to do that? He asked, and she quit before he could say anything further. The third assistant was experienced, 10 years at another firm, references like a novel. She lasted 4 days. On the 4th day, he told her to rearrange his desk exactly how he liked it. She asked how he liked it. He looked at her. You don't know? I just started. Anna always knew. He said it quietly, like a fact he had not planned on saying out loud. The office ran at half capacity. His calendar had 2 unconfirmed meetings. A Japanese investor sent a follow-up that nobody translated because the new assistant had written in English and the investor did not work in English. Sin Jo sat at his desk at 7 in the evening and looked through the city through the window. He thought about Anna knowing his coffee temperature. He thought about her stepping in front of conversations he could not have. He thought about her kicking him under the table at his mother's dinner and covering for him anyway. He thought about the fact that it was 7 in the evening and his desk was wrong and his calendar was broken and his investor was waiting, and he was thinking about all the things she used to handle without him ever once asking how. He picked up his phone. He went to her contact. He had her work number, her work email, a backup number she had given him 2 years ago for emergencies. But he did not have her address. He had never needed it because she had always come to him. He sat with that for a moment. Then he called HR. Then he called 2 colleagues. Finally, he got the address. He drove across the city in the rain with flowers he had bought from a roadside stall because he had passed 3 flower shops and the roadside ones were the first he stopped for, which meant they were slightly bent on one side and wrapped in plastic that said Happy Birthday on it. He had not noticed until he was standing outside her building. He stood outside her building in the rain with birthday flowers, looking up at the wrong door twice before a neighbor pointed him to the right floor. He knocked. Anna opened the door in a house hoodie and socks, short slick hair wrapped, eating something from a bowl. She stared at him. He stared at her. She looked at the flowers. He looked at the flowers. They were the first ones I saw, he said. She opened the door wider and let him in without saying anything, because 10 years of knowing someone means you understand even their worst attempts at showing up. He stood in the middle of her small living room. He had never been in a space this size, not because he thought less of it, just because he had genuinely never been anywhere but his own world. Anna sat down on the couch with her bowl and waited. He stayed standing. I had to ask 3 people for your address, he said finally. Oh, really? I did not know where you lived. That must have been a lot of work. Anna, Please, just hear me out. The atmosphere was quiet for a moment. I am only child, he said. My mother gave me everything and never asked anything back. I grew up thinking the people around me were supposed to function the way she did, just present, just available, not needing anything in return. He looked at her. I ran my entire life that way, including how I treated you. Anna set her bowl down slowly. I gave you work that had nothing to do with your job description. I sent you to face people I should have faced. I overloaded you and never once said thank you. Not once, in 10 years. He paused. I am telling you now. The room was quiet. Anna looked at the bent birthday flowers on her coffee table. Did you really drive here in the rain? She said. Yes, with birthday flowers. They were the first ones I saw. Anna pressed her lips together to stop the laugh that almost escaped. He looked at her carefully. You are my only friend, Anna, he said quietly, without performance. I did not realize it until you left and the entire thing fell apart, and I had no one who knew anything about me. That sentence sat in the room and did not leave. It wasn't a grand gesture, just a man who had spent 34 years surrounded by people and had somehow ended up with one real one and had treated her like furniture until she walked out. Please come back to work for me, Anna. Anna exhaled slowly. If I come back, she said. He looked up. You must treat me like a person, with a name, who goes home at a reasonable hour, who does not get punished for things that are not her job, who does not get sent to your mother's impromptu dinners as a decoy. Agreed. You must say thank you. Agreed. You stop using my existence to lie to women at restaurants. Long pause. Agreed. Anna picked her bowl back up. But, he said carefully, you still have to remind me to drink water. I always forget. She threw a couch cushion at his face. It hit him directly. He caught it on the way down and then stood there holding it, and then something shifted in his face, something that she had never seen in 10 years. He laughed. Not the polite, controlled sound he used at functions, an actual one, brief and genuine. Anna pointed at the door. Monday, 8 sharp, and you're buying proper coffee for the whole office. That seems excessive. Monday. He set the cushion down neatly on the chair. He walked to the door. He paused. Thank you, Anna. She looked at him. For what? For staying 10 years. He opened the door. And for the other 8 I am going to need. Anna chuckled and he left. Anna sat back in her living room with the birthday flowers and the empty bowl and the sound of rain outside. She looked at the ceiling. She was definitely going to regret this. But she was also, quietly, a little glad he found the address. And that is how the strangest friendship in Seoul survived. Not through romance, not through grand declarations, through one man finally driving through rain to a door he should have known years earlier, with bent flowers and a real apology. And one woman deciding that some things were worth returning to once the terms were honest. Monday morning, Anna stepped into the office at 8 exactly. The entire floor went silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another person. Then the receptionist stood up. Within seconds, the whole floor was on their feet, cheering like she had come back from a war, because to them, she had. Sin Jo stood at the entrance of his office, hands in his pockets, watching. My assistant has returned, he announced, with the pride of someone taking full credit. Anna walked past him into the office, dropped her bag on the desk, pulled up the calendar and looked at the disaster that the last 2 weeks had created. You have a Tokyo call in 20 minutes that was booked at the wrong time. Yes, Anna, you need to fix that, he said with an exhausted voice. Your Japanese investor has sent 4 follow-up emails. I know. Your desk is completely wrong. I fixed it. Anna looked at the desk. He had tried. It was approximately 70% correct. Anna moved 3 things. He watched her do it. Welcome back. I'm so glad you are back, he said, quietly, just to her. Anna sat down and pulled her laptop open. Don't make me regret it. He walked back into his office, sat down, and picked up his pen. Outside, the office settled back into rhythm. Calls went out, Emails moved. The floor functioned again the way it was supposed to. Anna put her earpiece in. She had approximately 40 things to fix before noon. She started with the first one. This was her job. She was good at it. She had chosen it again, with full information this time, and on better terms. That was enough. For now, that was completely enough. If you made it this far, you already know you need to subscribe. New story dropping very soon, and you do not want to miss what is coming. Hit the notification bell, leave a comment below telling me whose side you are on. I will be reading every single one. And don't be like Sin Jo, who constantly forgets to drink water. They are good for your kidneys and body system. 2 to 3 liters per day is perfect. Moi.